Hello, everyone. Happy summer, October. Your pals at the Prime Real Estate team here. I'm Tony. We have Daniel and Megan here as well. Look at Daniel outside. It's like summertime, right?
So beautiful. It's so nice out. Summer never going to end.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Even our buddies in Winnipeg are talking about nice weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll check in with them in a couple of weeks. It's going to be different. Yeah. Of course, everyone, we're here for you because we give you our monthly sales tax report for real estate and what happened in the month of September. Really interesting one. Before we get to the stats, though, which I'm going to put up for you guys, how are you guys feeling, Megan and Daniel? We just had a meeting. We were chatting about stuff. Tell us about your Septembers.
Yeah, go ahead, Megan.
Um, it's been kind of nice. We've got to take our time. We've got to actually go view different listings. I haven't had to call a client in the car as soon as we leave the property saying that they got to write an offer right away.
Yeah.
It's been really nice to give my clients the opportunity to negotiate when we do write an offer. So we've kind of been looking at it in a bit of a positive light that we get to see a lot more. We get to actually write offers. We get to compete against things on our own terms and not be pressured into anything immediately and take our time to do due diligence. It's been nice.
That is a nice feeling. Hey, and there's more to choose from too, right? Like there's more to show people. There's more out there.
Hey, Daniel, it's like the old days, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Dating myself. Yeah. No, it's back to normal.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, on the flip side, it's because sellers who are still thinking about the way things were 5 months ago. I mean, it's long enough, but yet it's kind of short enough still where unfortunately it's not at the point anymore where things are flying off the shelf. List on Thursday, sell on Tuesday, unconditional stuff like that. I have to tell you, my biggest gripe, what we have seen a lot of this month, is subject to the sale of homes. So I can't remember what the number is. I think I had 8 or 9 subject to sale offers presented just in the month of September, and I haven't seen one in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like no one would look at one. They wouldn't even respond to you if you said you were going to do one. And now all of a sudden everyone is like that, right?
Yeah. And, I mean, let's face it, it's a nice little perk to have as a buyer. It's not very attractive for a seller. Of course, most sellers say, well, I don't want to be tied up. What happens if, a better offer comes along and we call the time clause and the first offer does come through, or if they don't sell, which was the case of one of the properties that we had earlier. Plus, I'm seeing some really interesting creative clauses coming in contracts, which, by the way, they're not council approved clauses. I know because, I work for council, but there's some creativity. I don't know who's teaching these guys these things. There is no protection actually for both the buyer and the seller. It's really interesting. So interesting time, huh?
Definitely. Yeah. And changing for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Folks, let's get you to the numbers because we always do this. We ended up the month with 410 sales, which is down 46% from last year. Same message we always tell you, which is we're comparing to a busier time. Last September 2021 was busy. Now, that being said, I do have to show you on this little chart right here, 410 sales for the month of September that you saw here. That is I believe, second lowest September in our 30-year history, from 1990 here, 32 years. So we had 395 sales in 2010, but then 410. So some people will grapple onto that and say, oh my goodness, what's going on? The market is tanking. More on that in a moment. I will tell you, though, that, like I said, I saw a lot of subject to offers that did not come together. It tells us that there are people who want to move. It's just they're going about it in a very different way right now. Let's look at our inventory levels. So we ended up the month with 2,300 active listings. That, by the way, is up 104% from last year. But again, a reminder, folks, last year, 1124, all-time low, lowest number of history. Remember I said 2010 was 395 sales, right? Let's look at 2010 in September. That was 4,300 listings on
Yeah.
395 sales versus our 410 sales at 2,300. So the metrics are very different, folks, right? Still low inventory. And when you look at it globally, 2,300 listings where, you know, we commonly in the month of September saw 4,000, 4,300. Yeah, it was low. 2019, it was the 5th lowest in 32 years. So by no means, you know, a smorgasbord or feeding frenzy, because it's not a buyer's market yet, folks. If you look at the prices, this is the average, by the way, the average price for a detached single family home ended up 1,213,000 in Victoria compared to 1,219. So it's plus 4%, plus 0.4% from last year. So prices aren't going down. They haven't dropped. They have gone down from the peak. We've talked about the peak of, you know, March, April. Yes, that was a very busy time, but they're not going down, right? If anything, we had a kind of strong month last month, but it's just very interesting about what's happening out there. The house price index, which is something else that we look at as well, because the averages, of course, skewed by higher price or lower price properties that sell. Our HPI, our home price index for a sample house, shows at being anywhere from 13 to 14% higher than it was last year. So interesting time, right, guys?
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. That inventory number is still so low. Like it's still just way lower than it was for years and years and years.
Yeah. And it also means that sellers, they're not dropping, they're not getting rid of houses because there's no need, right? There's people out there that haven't been able to sell that have turned into rentals, right? Which is fair. But when people get low offers, they don't need to take them, right? I know some of you who are watching this right now are current sellers that maybe saw one of those offers. Didn't mean that you need to take it. There's other examples of offers that came in low earlier in the month, didn't take it, but we ended up selling to somebody else for a higher price later. That happens too, right? Yeah, all about the advice and direction. But yeah, the subject to sale offers. I mean, come on, folks, by the way, that's not a offer, it's an option. You're basically saying, I'll buy your house if I sell mine. Yeah, that's not really attractive. If you can, and I'm speaking for our buyer clients right now, of course, it's a benefit. If you can pull it off and in certain circumstances and, you know, where things work out, sure, right? But from the seller, it's very interesting, right, guys, how there's two very diverse points from a buyer and a seller, and it all has to do with the subject to thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else to add before we wrap up here? Can you believe it's October? We got 3 more months of sales happening here, guys.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah. This market usually goes for a little while, right up till what, December, beginning of December.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. No, exciting times. Some beautiful weather.
It's Victoria. As always, folks, you got any questions, you want to talk, second opinion, want to talk about your real estate needs or how things are going, we are here for you all the time. Daniel, Megan, myself. See you next month.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.